So today we're going to talk about starting up pool chemicals. When you get your new pressed pool and everything, you really want to come to our water lab and just get that water tested and see, where to start. And our main start is going to be balancing our water. So when you balance the water, our main focus is typically going to be on like the pH and alkalinity. That's the very first things we want to set. So we typically range the pH between a 7.2 and a 7.8. And then the alkalinity, we go between a 60 and 120. That just helps us to get the water in a good balance to where it's not affecting any eyes, ears, or anything like that. So once you get those kind of set, then we kind of focus more on the sanitation of it. And then with the sanitation, we typically go into whether you're gonna do, chlorine, ozone, pure and blue, or even salt. So when you get into those things, it varies a little bit on how much we put in, different things like that. But our main focus is just balancing the water first and then introducing a sanitizer. So along with balancing the water, you're going to introduce a sanitation system. That sanitation system is introduced to help maintain the water, the clarity, keeps any bacteria, contaminants, or even algae out of the water, and help to have the better and best quality of swimming for all your guests or friends or even just your family. So with that, anytime you're going to add a sanitizer, you're going to use chlorine in the water, usually a chlorine shock. That's going to help to fight off bacteria, algae, and other contaminants. And then you also would add either an algicide, which is going to help to constantly fight off algae throughout the seasons. When your levels are balanced and you're using a proper sanitation system, there is sometimes where you get clarity issues. So you can fight with a little bit of cloudy water, hazy water, and then that's where we add in other products to help to just maintain the crystal clear water that you'd like to be in. So we add in either clarifiers or just kind of boosters just to help maintain your water and have the best swim quality time. When you're sanitizing your water, say you're using chlorine. With chlorine, you're gonna have typically your chlorinated shock, but then you're gonna wanna add in things like chlorine tabs to help maintain a chlorine level, but also help that water stay stabilized. So you're adding chlorine tabs with a shock, but also then you're gonna add an algicide to just help combat the water and fight off any combination of contaminants, algae, bacteria, or anything like that. When you get into ozone, we typically use ozone as an O3 that kind of fights off any contaminants in the water. And then you add usually just a small amount of algicide and sometimes even back that up with a chlorine tab or so to just help to keep the water at its best quality and the clearest. And then you also have salt, which salt kind of is still chlorine, but you're using a generator and putting that salt water directly in the water, or the salt directly in the water, and then adding a generator that helps turn that salt into chlorine to help maintain a sanitation level in the water. And then we have our other system, which is our copper system, which is pure and blue for us. Pure and blue, you're going to use a algicide paired with a metal inhibitor, and then chlorine shock, as well as a pure and blue oxidizing shock. So these different things in this sanitation system, your algicide is your copper, which is going to help fight off algae throughout the season. Then you're also going to add that metal inhibitor to help get rid of any extra metals in the water, but then help to hold that copper level in. And then you're going to have your chlorine shock, which we stated is going to be to help fight off bacteria, algae, and contaminants, just to have sanitation and cleanliness in the water. With that, you use an oxidizing shock. That is just there to get rid of any extra body oils, sweats, and things like that. That can also be used on any other system as well. But our main system is pure and blue for that. So we get into when we're balancing our water, sometimes we have to deal with hard water, especially, when you're in the areas where water seems to be a little harder than other areas. So in those cases, we typically use either like a scale-free or standing scale preventer to help keep that water at its best, to where it's not allowing the calcium in the water to be effective on either your liner surface or your concrete surface or pool surface. If you have lower hardness levels, we do add either a hardness increaser or something like that to help bring those levels into range to where it makes your water happy. So here at Country Leisure, we have a full water lab, free water testing. And so you can bring in your water. That allows us to diagnose and treat different water issues, from anywhere from cloudy water to clear water to just wanting to prep it for having a pool party or just a small gathering. So you can stop in, get your water tested, and we can run through the different things of regular maintenance for your pools. So a basic maintenance, you always want to test and balance your water, and then you want to sanitize your water. And then at that point, you can then decide on your next steps, whether you want to have a pool party or you just kind of want to have it for your everyday use.